Right. Abzan, Fall of the Thran. So, a lot of sweet deck building in Magic has to do with taking a card that's technically symmetrical and then breaking or abusing the parity in your favor. So, Fall of the Thran here says, Chapter 1, destroy all lands. Then Chapters 2 and 3, each player returns 2 lands from their graveyard to the battlefield. So we break the parity on this card by utilizing Knight of the Reliquary here to fish up Bojuka Bog to exile our opponent's graveyard. So that way only we get lands back and our opponent doesn't get them back. Past just being a Fall of the Thran deck, you know, we've got Black Disruption and Discard, some good removal here in Fatal Push. We've got Lotus Cobra to help ramp us up to our top end. We've got Felidar Retreat to leverage the fact that we've got lands coming back into play from Fall of the Thran. And then we've got Realm Eater here, which is excellent with Fall of the Thran as well. So this says whenever a permanent opponent controls hits the graveyard from the battlefield, this gets a 1/1 counter. So when, like, you play Fall of the Thran with Realm Eater out, this gets a 1/1 counter for every land your opponent had in play. And then you have this giant Realm Eater to beat them down with, or clear the board if they're an aggressive deck. I also have a couple copies of Nissa Vital Force here. Very sweet, powerful Planeswalker. So this can pick our sagas back up from our discard pile if they've been countered or we want to reuse them. And her +1 kills the Teferi. So, like, they play a Teferi and plus it to 5. Nissa comes into play, makes a 5/5 with haste and hits them. She also ultimates very quickly. So she plays, she pluses to 6, and then she ultimates the turn after you play her, giving you lots of card advantage for the rest of the game. So I think this deck seems like it has a lot of good tools for the Gandalf matchup, so let's jump into some games with it and see how it can fare. There's been a lot of control on the ladder. Is Tocatli still needed in the sideboard? So, angels and goblins are still things that exist in the fringes of the format. It catches other random things around, so I think Tocatli's fine. I trimmed on the number of Tocatlis that I'm playing, but there's still enough that it does in the format that I think it's worth playing. These technically make black mana. Hey, thanks for the sub gift, James. Ooh. As of almost an hour ago, I am now a lawyer, and that's the most surreal thing I've ever typed. Hey, congrats, Jake. I assume that means you passed the bar exam of whatever state or region or area you're at. Joe Manchin just said it's so disheartening that the Republicans are going to filibuster the January 6th commission. It is. It must be tough being just a private citizen like Joe Manchin and not having anything in your power that you're able to do to help protect democracy. If only he had some kind of ability to change how that works. Second, Lotus Cobra, miss our land drop, a tried and true strategy. I would say I'm shocked that the Blue Lives Matter party is doing things that makes the police upset, but hypocrisy is a core party platform for Republicans, so. Wow, pretty punished for their sequencing here. So I get to go ahead and fetch a tapped Swamp here, and then play Knight of the Reliquary. For people that are new to the channel, like I'm a boy and pick picks, thanks for the follows. We play Magic here, but we also talk about politics and stuff like that on occasion. I don't shy away from topics that make other people upset. If you are a fellow leftist, you're in good company here. If you're a conservative in the United States, feel free to fuck off for the damage that you do to my country. We're actually gonna have like a pretty good turn next turn with this knight and the Felidar Retreat. Land's a sweet draw, so we get to go ahead and so how much mana do I have? So this is 4, 5, and then this is 2 landfalls. So this is 4, 5. And then this is 1, 2, 3 mana. So I have 8 mana total here. So that's not quite enough to Felidar and retreat this turn. That's fine. We'll still be in a pretty good spot. So we'll grab a Fabled Passage here for later, which enables Revolt for the Fatal Push. Oh, Nissa untaps a land. So the problem with counting Nissa untapping is I would have had to make my land drops before playing Felidar Retreat, which would have not been good. I think I fetch at end of turn here. I think we have them dead if this is a blank, right? So we get to do this into put 1/1 counters on things. And then we go Nissa, untap this, and then we sack this. Okay, so now I can attack with everything. Oh, I could have given this vigilance. You've been sub for 12 months, Mach Zero. You need a sword. Oh, the knight has vigilance. I could have attacked with that too. I even commented on this not having vigilance. It's fine, chat. They're dead. It's right. Yeah, the knight could have attacked too. I could have played around a thing or something there. There could have been a thing to play around with the thing and the other thing. It's fine. It's fine. Good start. Good start to the set though. Okay, so this is probably a fatal push matchup, right? Like killing Innkeeper seems pretty important. I definitely want Mythos. I don't have a ton of ways in my 75 to take what's it called off the table? The Clover. Today's been a great day for Magic, Bob. We played Mono Black Aggro. It was fantastic this morning. And we played Mardu Pyromancer. That was also great. We want Grasp. How many ways do I want to kill their thing? And do I want more cards that play to the board, or are my discard spells important here? I haven't really played this matchup before, believe it or not. That's true. This is technically a Clover answer. They have Nissa? I don't believe the opponent's archetype usually plays Nissa, no. It says this is technically an answer to their Innkeeper as well. I guess it deals with Giants as well. I'm bored in one of these. Hey, Urvik, thanks for the year and a half. I appreciate the Prime. Welcome back. And this hand's a keep because that's a land. Do I Thoughtseize or do I Fatal Push first? I think we lead on Thoughtseize, right? Because I want to take a Clover if they have it. Okay, and now I'll take the Fae of Wishes before they can cantrip it. And then we'll Fatal Push the Edgewall Innkeeper next turn before I can cantrip anything else. Just in case this is a negate or something like that, I'm going to go ahead and Fatal Push this during their upkeep. What's going on, Wolfwood? Let's make sure you have a sword for when you're here live. Sleepy J, thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. So I can go. So I could go Cobra. Well, I can just shock this into play the next Cobra, right? Yeah, that's fine. I was saying, do I want to play the fetch lane, but I don't have to. I can just shock this in. That's that tap land in my head for some reason. And we can hold this Fabled Passage for Fatal Push. Would you like to cast Explore? Escape to the Wilds is much better than Explore, chat. Yikes. Yikes. Yeah, I would bet the opponent's archetype has a really good control matchup. So we could see this pop up as a response to the metagame shift towards more control decks. Gonna murder my Lotus Cobras here, I assume. I'm gonna fetch it into turn here, because if they want to bounce my Felidar Retreat in response, they lose their Brazen Borrower. This copying's not optional. Honestly, based on their hand, killing the Clover here might be wrong. Might be right to save the binding for their giant. Well, Fall is definitely the best draw in our deck, and it's not close. Yeah, Fall kills Beanstalk Giant. This Time Warp's pretty close to killing us, though. I should probably chump there. If they have like a Bone Crusher Giant or a Brazen Borrower in hand, I get pretty sad. Yeah, I should have jumped last turn. I'm gonna jump both of these. It was a mistake. I did do another time walk regardless. I have Love Struck Beast too. I probably want both my Noxious Grasps. I'm gonna be dead even if we draw a fall here, right? Yeah. No, I don't think Reidane's nearly good enough. They have so much ramp. It doesn't really meaningfully slow them down. Do you have anything else that I want to cut for Deck in Stone? I need to like keep my game plan coherent as well too. I can't dilute too much. Alex is pretty close to being Texas. If I wanted something to generate card advantage and draw cards, I would just play a good card instead. Yeah, 10 hits is like incredibly low. Having the Bojuka Bog in the opener is kind of sad, but it is what it is. Against the opponent's deck, just casting Fall and putting them from their huge ramp down to 4 lands should be good enough in a lot of situations. This is playing with fire a little bit, but I'm going to leave them. I'm going to leave them the Lucky Clover. Yeah, the point of our deck is that, like, our deck is a collection of, like, mostly reasonable interactive cards. So that way we, like, play reasonable games of Magic, even when we don't have Fall of the Thran. Like the first game that we won here, for example. They drop Raisin Borrower? All right. I don't have a land here, but we get to recast this at least. Alright, untapped land. Damn it. We are so unlucky, chat. Untapped land would just ended the game on the spot. Sag. Big sad. Oh, if I keep forgetting this gives vigilance. Oh, I guess if I activate it, it doesn't have vigilance anymore. We have sequenced differently to get 2 cats. I could have gotten a sack land. Yeah, I chose not to. My deck has a very finite number of sack lands in it. So I wanted to save my sack land so I could do this. And now we'll give vigilance, so now I can attack with the knight and then activate it. And then with the second retreat, that should be lethal, right? Yeah, sweet. And we bricked off there and didn't get to actually cast our fall. But, like, we got to see again the power of what our deck is doing even when we don't hit our namesake. Also, Knight of the Reliquary is an incredibly sweet card. As someone who, like, grew up playing competitive Magic and playing 4-color Loam and Legacy, like. I'm actually really looking forward to, yeah, retreat to Coral Helm, giving us a Knight of the Reliquary combo deck should be gasoline for this format. I am super looking forward to that being a thing we get to do. That deck is like just not quite powerful enough for Modern, and I think it would be super sweet in this format. So, for people that aren't old Modern hats, retreat to Coral Helm with Knight of the Reliquary. Good lord. Anybody have somewhere I can throw up? His hand is like nightmare fuel, chat. I do at least have a revolting Fatal Push. Yeah, so I actually have Tempered Steel up on my website, and I've had it in the high potential section because I really liked the list last time we played it. And the new cards Tempered Steel is getting are a big deal for that deck. That's definitely one I'm excited to play some games with. All right, just want to draw lands for like the next 2 turns here. $28 lands later, chat. Verisium Growth Spiral here. Getting aggressive, yeah. Gain some life here. They drew a counterspell, we're probably dead here. If we'd have hit our lands on curve there in our 28 land deck, we would have been more than fine there, unfortunately. Not gonna cut it when we miss. Yeah, the flash deck's getting more popular will likely be a result of the Gandalf decks being good as well. Reidane should be good versus them. Not really. She only attacks as non-creature spells, so I don't think she's particularly good here. You run Grizzly Salvage deck? Why on earth would this deck want to play Grizzly Salvage? Can you explain? Torrential Gearhulk, a safe craft and historic. I mean, I think if you like casting Torrential Gearhulk, it's a reasonable card to play in the format. I think Bodrok Turns is more powerful than Mardu Reanimator. I also personally prefer it, but I do think from a pure power level perspective, the Bodrok Turns deck is better. Yeah, but, like, I'm not really interested in, like, making my knight a bigger, better beater HR Beck. I'm not really looking to tutor for specific cards. I might consider playing something like Commune with the Gods, maybe, because it could find enchantments, but, like, the enchantments are the key cards we're looking for a lot more so than anything else. Yeah, we've been really good at drawing our one of Bojuka Bog so far today. It's just so clunky that, like, you can't really afford to play two of them because you'll lose too many games having too many tapped lands. Oh, man. They had Scorching Dragonfire last game. I just play around that, right? Just, like, go fetch a Fabled Passage now. I think is the play. If they have Scorching Dragonfire, they can Dragonfire in response to me sacrificing this and then kill this. But by getting Fabled Passage, they never get a window to do that. Gonna attack now because I don't really want to shuffle that Felidar Retreat. It's extra unfortunate that like we drew the Bog, because like if we hadn't drawn the Bog, I could have held up a Knight of the Reliquary activation to Bog a Torrential Gearhulk. They're tapping manually. Do they not have it? Are they just doing that now? Sure. I'm confused. Now, I think if they want to use a Dragonfire to not kill my knight and make me shuffle, that's fine. I think that's an exchange that's good for me.
None shall conquer you.
Well, I mean, they don't have good attacks. If neither of those two cards in hand are a counterspell, we're going to win this game.
Harness the elements.
Magma Opus in hand. Ooh, that's the perfect draw. You have an Aether Gust? Sublime Epiphany, sure. Alright, you have a counterspell? If they have a memory lapse here, we're gonna die. They don't have a counterspell, we're in an okay spot. Another Night Pack Ambusher. That might do it. That might do it.
Behold, nature's true power.
Oh yeah, and they get 3 wolves, right? Yeah, we're dead. It's unfortunate. So we had a window in the first game where we could have been okay, and we bricked on the land and died. That game, I don't really think there was much we could do there. You know, a couple of early memory lapses. That style of deck is like really good against what we're doing. Gosh, the black aggro deck we played today. If you want to ladder quickly and like punish people that are doing things right now, the black aggro deck we played as the first deck today is just such an incredible choice. Like there's so like people are registering Sublime Epiphanies, chat. Just like cast Thoughtseize and 1-mana creatures and just put them in the ground. I don't know. I think Nissa's pretty appropriately rated. I think it's easy to be super biased into thinking what that Nissa is doing when like you're playing into constant people playing Jeskai control, but like Nissa is like not a good card when your opponent's like beating you down efficiently. You know, link to deck list. You can always find the decks I've played previously on stream by typing !! decks in chat. Opponent's likely playing Velocibus turns, yeah. You'll also be able to find gameplay with the Mono Black deck on my YouTube tonight. I'm going to be adding that one to my website this weekend in the high potential category. I think it's really well positioned. Just good deck in general that also happens to attack the things that people are choosing to register right now really well. It's actually happened 3 times that we've drawn the Bojuka Bog, so... Yeah, I think the turns deck existing on the fringe of the format is fine. I want to play blue-green turns as a deck list I want to get back to at some point again too. Yeah, the Mardu deck was awesome, Neil. Both the Mardu Pyromancer and the Mardu Pyro and the Black Aggro deck were great today. Jeff likes Mono Black, so I turned my Thassa's Oracles into Dread Wanderers. God bless. So, if I play this, I can't get this next turn if I brick on a land, but there's a chance they kill the Lotus Cobra, right? So I think I just want to play to the out of them killing Cobra and then me drawing a land. We also might just not get another turn here. Opponent has Dwarven Mine, so if they have Transmogrify, we are going to die. This is our third deck of the day, Tongsby. I started a little early today. I went live at like 20 to 8. I think Scapeshift is much worse in this deck than Fall of the Thran. Can you explain to me why you think Scapeshift is good? What do you think? Like your plan is to have Scapeshift with exactly our 4 copies of Knight of the Reliquary or Retreat? Like, Fall of the Thran does a Scapeshift-like thing while also interacting with Realm Eater and being disruption for our opponent. So, like, you're right, Scapeshift is kind of neat with both of these, but it also doesn't disrupt the opponent, and Scapeshift is frequently just going to build you a big board, and against a control deck, you're going to pass to them and they're going to kill your board. You're not going to have accomplished much. Alright, so we're going to bring in Reidane and Fatal Push and Duress. Obviously, Fatal Push doesn't kill the dragon, but it kills the tokens that they target to try and make the dragon. Follow the Thran plan, not good enough here. This is sadly, I think this is not a fall matchup. They just played to the board too quickly. This is good for like ramp decks and control decks. Yeah, Mythos is good. And I think we leave Nissa in as just a big way to slap them around. We need to be the beat down here. And even in a matchup like this, right? Like think about Scapeshift. Like I cast Scapeshift, I make a big knight, or I make a bunch of cats, then they untap and kill me. Oh, that's a good thought. Yeah, Noxious Grasp should be in my deck. The dragon's white. Their deck is blue-red, so in my head it's like Noxious Grasp not against the blue-red deck, but it does kill that. That's a great catch. Thank you for pointing that out. And for reference, if you haven't seen it, if you're looking for a Scapeshift Felidar Retreat deck, I'd encourage you to go back and watch on my YouTube channel. We played one of those. It's really not good. Having the ability to disrupt your opponent with what you have going on is a big deal. Do you get rare wild cards for the Oracle ban? Yep. Yes, you do. Kazandu. It is on my radar jar, but not anytime soon at the moment. Unless someone sends it in as a donation, I've got other games that I've already purchased myself. Sure. Ghost is great. As someone who loves Witcher 3, Ghost of Tsushima reminds me of Witcher 3 in a lot of good ways. If Witcher 3 was set in Japan in the 1600s and didn't have magic. But the story writing is good, the graphics are great. Does a lot of things right. Do we Nissa here? I feel like I Nissa here. I'm gonna put 1/1 counters on these because I want to play around them having a copy of Anger of the Gods next turn to kill my pressure. Also, if they don't cast Anger, I'd like to not crack this fetch so I can redraw the Nissa. And if they have their combo here, we are just going to be dead to it. Yeah, definitely Pretzepic. Hopefully that one comes out on console too. Assume we're dead here. They can also just cast Pelakamos from hand. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, their combo's not deterministic, chat, but their failure state is like they have a 5/5 flying haste dragon in play that I'm not beating. So like technically might get to untap, but like also not winning the game. Echoes of a Raven, thanks for the follow, welcome to the channel. Enigmatic play Incarnation to find with Shark Typhoon. No. Stop it. We're back down to the 99% where we belong, chat. The Mardu Pyromancer deck and Mono Black deck were both very good this morning. So we like climbed up out of like the 93, 94 into actual numbers to start. Abzan land destruction here, putting us right back where we belong. 99% chat feels like home. This ain't one of them try-hard streams. We wouldn't want someone new dropping in to mistake us for a try-hard stream. Great. Well, Thoughtseize it is. And then naturally this card is Collected Company, right? Because that's how this works. At any cost, chat. At any cost.
I protect that which cannot protect. Be wary of the ground.
Dunk dunk. When do we Armageddon? Next turn.
Cease this aggression. Harness the elements.
The lone survivor of the Thran, chat. The lone survivor. Listen, I don't know if this deck is good, but we got to accomplish the thing. Hey, thanks for the biddies, Roz. More like Bog Champ, am I right? That's... Bog Champ gets a small round of applause. Bog Champ gets a small round of applause. All right, so discard spells out here. Want more cards that play to the board for sure. We'll bring in the Mythos. Bring in this and these. Think this is an Honor Guard matchup. I guess they have... I guess this turns off Elite Spellbinder, and it turns off... Is this good enough? This might be good enough, actually. It turns off Skyclave and Spellbinder. Either way on this, what would we cut to fit it in? I got three copies here. A lot of my cards feel like they're kind of good here. I know Nissa was good that game, but do we think she's good on average? She probably gets pressured a lot of the time, right? Especially on the draw. She's slow if they have Reidane or something like that. I'm gonna cut 2 Nissa and board in 2 Tocatli Honor Guard. See how that feels. You want to trim the falls? Someone get this heretic out of here. Turn 1 Land War Elves, the old nut drop. Okay, so their hand, like, is 1000% to have Collected Company in it, right? So we just do this. No, Honor Guard does stop Henge too. We dodge a Skyclave Apparition, we can dodge a ball, chat. Survey says... Rats. Punished for playing Mammoth as land. One deck in stone, please. Playing the Mardu deck against Elves right now. They thought their board could go wider. They were wrong. Nice. Nice. And you have enough removal in that deck to pick apart their important ones. So that matchup's probably pretty good, I imagine. We're probably dead from here. We don't really have a catch-up mechanic. I guess I get to, like, Murderous Apparition, block an Apparition, take 5, and then if we find a piece of spot rule for these, we could be okay. Alright, and now we're dead, even if we hit a removal. I might be dead, but I'm taking your lands with me. They are, yeah, Elves is not a particularly good deck in Historic. There's a reason why I deleted it off the website after we tried to play it. It's really not consistent enough or resilient enough. Maybe someday. Maybe like Shaman of the Pack and Elvish Mystic show up and that works out, but I don't even think you need something as busted as Natural Order. Like Shaman of the Pack, you really need another turn 1 accelerant. Elvish Mystic is the biggest missing piece. Shaman of the Pack won't hurt either, but you'd have 8 Land War Elves. Go a long way. I'm gonna lead on Blooming Marsh here, because if they play Elf on 1, I want to push it off a cliff. Deathrite Shaman is not good in Pioneer, no. No fetches. I mean, Knight into Felidar is a solid curve here. Knight into Felidar into Fall is a really good curve. We can dodge a Skyclave. Should have boarded in all 4 honor guards, chat. All 3 honor guards. We dodge second Skyclave. If they don't interact with us again, the audacity. Second retreat. Right on time. Right on time. Welcome to the party. The good news is they only have attacks with Spellbinder here, so if we find an out to that, we could be okay. Whoever is writing these pre-recorded scripts is not getting paid enough. Big mood. Let's crack this, because if I find a fatal push, I wanna gain some life. Why are flying creatures so busted, chat? Oh, we're just dead to the stupid Oasis. Close. Flying creature's too strong, chip. Or like, more like Skycleave Apparition too strong. We needed them to not have like one of these 3 cards. We'd have been able to fade any of those. We think we would have been okay there. Would have had enough time to brace 1 Spellbinder, or if we would have had Knight, we could have raced 2. Can Spellbinder replay as much if it didn't have flying? Nah, it'd be a lot less good if it wasn't evasive. It'd still be fine against like control and stuff that doesn't play to the board, but part of the reason why it's good is because it's evasive in the creature matchups and it's disruptive in the non-creature matchups. Yeah, I mean, this hand's great. He says before getting Thoughtseized. Yeah, it is a little bit interesting that Spellbinder doesn't have the same, like, Vendilion click casting cost. At least Thoughtseize is still bugged. Got that going for us.
Just the trick for this. Interesting technique.
Interesting technique. Do we draw any cards proper in this deck? I guess Nissa Vital Force draws cards. We do probably want to kill Nissa. Killing Nissa also powers up the Realm Eater. We're killing Narset, sorry. We cast Brainstorm into an Narset on stream yet? I don't think so. I send both of these here to play around. Play around a shark.
I still have much to learn.
If they like tap out for a Wrath next turn, we get to Nissa or Fall if we draw a land. Seems good. Frenzy deck did it intentionally. Yeah. Okay. Sounds right. Oh yeah, we casted into Nissa to put spells back on top of our deck that we wanted to cast with Frenzy. Forgot about that. So technically yes, but also no. Untapped land. Untapped land. So, I think Thoughtseizing them is more valuable than hitting them for 5 here, which may or may not be wrong. Definitely right. Yeah, this is what Planeswalker designs looked like before War of the Spark happened. This is a pre-fire design Planeswalker, chat. Alright, here's the real question. Can the Esper control deck beat Nissa Emblem? They do have Narset. That's true.
The land will help us find a way.
We are gonna get lapsed here. Alright, there goes Fall of the Thran. They could bind a Narset before regenerate some velocity, they could lock us out. I ain't scared, chat.
Before action.
Memory. Oh, they're out of blue. They're out of blue, chat. They're out of blue mana, chat. Binding kills Narset, chat. Everybody, nobody panic, okay? Everything is fine. His situation is completely under control. Everybody calm down. I'm not panicking, you're panicking. Could you argue this is a goddamn arms race, chat? I think you can make the argument that this is an arms race. Do I want to draw a card? A stupid question is that, Magic Arena. I think we've died, chat. I think we lost to the noodle. I think this noodle's about to make us big sad. My serpent is smaller than their serpent, chat. We can draw like second binding. Obviously should have just made 5/5s in attack, chat. Obviously should have made 5/5s in attack. Board in our discard spells, couple pieces of removal for Teferi Yorian. My body is ready for some tireless truckers too. All of the ladder has been endless control decks today. Like I said, both the Mono Black Aggro and the Mardu Pyromancer deck we played today, proactive Thoughtseize decks, are excellent choices for laddering in Mythic at the moment. Based on the sample we've seen here, everybody's just like trying to outgreed Jeskai control. Amir the Diggity Dwarf, welcome to the channel, good afternoon. We take Aether Gust here and plan to attack this down. This is pretty good against us, though. It exiles our graveyard. It makes us not be able to search, so a lot of text there. That's kind of scary. Is your Fatal Push? Nope, just bluffing with their muffin. Man, so I would like, that whole cycle would be great, Beetle. Soaring Seacliff, Sajiri Step, or Sajiri Shelter. Sajiri Shelter would really be nice. Able to use Night to give itself protection. She's a responsible gal. She would like to have protection. Karakas. I don't know that Karakas would even really see play. There aren't really that many legendary things in this format. Oh, is it Sajiri Step? It's Sajiri Step. Shelter's the new one. So, like... Oh, yeah, Karakas with Yorian sounds awful. Please don't put that card in this format. I can fall here, but it's just like not even good. Is the problem? Yeah, I agree, Quasi. Big agree that that would almost assuredly be a net negative. The Modern Horizons 2 previewers have made me feel incredibly glad that I don't play Modern anymore. I think there's a lot of neat looking designs in Modern Horizons 2, but like, the point of a non-rotating format for a lot of people is supposed to be that you have a deck and you get to play it and enjoy it for however long you want to enjoy it. And there's a good chance the set feels like it's gonna turn Modern on its head again. And like, Modern's just like been constantly turned on its head so long. So actually, Modern Horizons 1 is what turned me away from Modern. Modern Horizons 1 changed Modern enough that the few decks I had that I still enjoyed playing were largely rendered unplayable by new introductions into the format. It increased the power level and pushed out the last couple of decks I liked playing. Hey, thanks for the gift sub lineup. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's kind of like a soft rotation. I don't think it's unreasonable to phrase it as. Got a gift sub a few weeks ago and wanted to pay it forward. Thanks, Line.
There are so many mysteries.
Yeah, the mono black deck is really strong.
Keep an open mind.
I think if you're not a Modern player, like this Modern Horizon set seems like gasoline for EDH and like casual Magic. I have no idea what's competitive or isn't competitive in Modern. Haven't touched the format in a long while. No plans to either. If it existed on Arena, I'd probably play it on occasion, but it only existing on Mono makes it mostly non-starter for me.
Meditate and prepare.
Oh yeah, we talked about that in the subs Discord the other day. I love how they tried to tell us they tried to tell us that they couldn't put Flame Tongue Kavu into Historic because of the templating that Flame Tongue Kavu has. But then they went and printed Baby Flame Tongue Kavu in a new Modern Horizon set with the exact same templating as the original Flame Tongue Kavu. So like, can we pick a lane? Can you tell me if it's okay or if it's not and stick with it, please? John Charlie, thank you for the sub gifts. It's very generous of you. Wait, they didn't play an untapped land? Oh, they're killing that. Sure. For some keywords, I don't really think of Magic like that. In terms of like, I need this keyword. I usually try to focus on specific designs more than anything.
Just no time for a break.
Alright, so what is eating a counterspell this turn? Something is eating a counterspell. I think it's Nissa. And then it's actually important here that we kill the Narset this turn because they're likely to play a Sky Noodle next turn, which would be able to reset Narset.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, Nissa get binding is really slow though, Dietzel. Every turn my opponent's Teferi sits on the table is a turn I'm less likely to be able to get back into the game. Yeah, I think we're done here. I'm gonna go ahead and call it on Magic a little bit early today. I don't really feel like starting on a 4th deck, and this deck just hasn't felt competitive against all these control decks on the ladder. It's probably just not competitive in general. This was a cute idea we had played once a couple seasons back that I wanted to try and revisit with a couple more discard spells, and it just doesn't seem like it. It has the ability to hold up. Probably just ran a little bit lucky. If you weren't here earlier and you're not going to hang out for Ghost of Tsushima, you'll want to keep an eye out for both Mardu Arcanist and Black Aggro. These are both decks we played earlier today that did excellent into all the various control decks on the ladder. They both felt really powerful and consistent, but Abzan Fall was a bit of a, that's fine. They can't all be winners, right? Two out of three ain't bad. The last few hours of the stream today, we're gonna play some more Ghosts of Tsushima because I've really been enjoying that one. So I'm gonna get things switched over and fire that one up on the PlayStation.